Alright, we are doing a Knight's Tribal deck just to see how things look in the current standard. I'm used to the older red and white Knight Tribal, and it's a little bit faster than this. But we'll take what we can get, I guess. They're using Azusa's Many Journeys, and of course they had all the extra land they needed in their opening hand to benefit from it. Something that never really happens for me. Not that I'm bitter or anything. Magic. And they're using a bunch of 1-drops. So use your 1-drops if you want. And goodbye. They say nice when it's unexpected. Things are already looking kind of dicey. Look at all these cheap spells he's getting out so early. Two can play that game. Get rid of one of these. And a zombie. And they just have somebody big enough. It's going to be a bigger pain in the keister than the other two that are already out. Which means I'm taking damage. Okay, we'll get rid of that one now. Get rid of the zombie. And we have just enough to bring down that guy. Ooh, we can attack for 1. Woohoo! Got him down to 24. Only 4 more than where they started. Anyway, thanks for joining us here at Tpull's Corner. This is Travis. Ouch. No matter what happens, they seem to be prepared for it, and they are starting to kick my butt. Let's see what we can do to stop some of this. We'll get rid of another creature, get another zombie, and we get to attack them for 1 more point of damage. Oh, 2. Because Adeline gives us somebody. Nice. And Tpull. They could attack with Venom Connoisseur. And they do. And we'll let them through. No blocks. Okay. Rite of Oblivion takes care of the other new one. We'll get rid of... I like the idea of having the 1/1 as a chump blocker. So then we attack with the one that has Vigilance. And they can go block the 1/1 if they want. And hopefully they'll start running out of ammo a little bit. So we need to catch up. Aha! Alright. We'll get some life. We'll get some more life. And done. Don't care about that. I don't have any enchantments in this deck. They probably have a Wolf Strike, right? Is Adeline the bigger threat they want to use it on? I kind of want to keep everybody. If they have a Wolf Strike, they might go after one of my flyers. I need the 3 different powers to transform the farmhand. I just want that down. That would have been handy earlier, before the Mesa Cavaliers, but beggars can't be choosers. Thank you, sir. And now we attack with that, and that, and that, and... why not? Let's just attack with everybody. He's not going to double block Adeline. Chump block, just to save the 7 points of damage. It's more important that he gets rid of the life gained. Okay, we've equalized in life. He's got lots of mana. What are the 2 cards you got left? They're not creatures. Whatever they were, he's had enough. Sweet! Alright, let's go in and show you the deck. That's deck as in D-E-C-K. I have a tendency to mumble if I start talking too quickly, so I have to correct myself and make sure my enunciation is very audible. Just to avoid any misunderstandings. We want this to be kind of friendly channel for kids. There's a lot of words in these games that sounds a little iffy, but it's not dirty. It's just Magic the Gathering. All right, we started off with 4 Rite of Oblivions, but I ran into too much trouble not having the right chump blockers out to sacrifice at the right time. And if you have 4 of these, you can end up with 1 or 2 just eating a hole in your hand while the board is clear because they have so much removal. So I got rid of 2 of those and put in more board wipes. But here's what we got. Rotten Reunion, exile target card from a graveyard. This will get rid of all sorts of stuff that can come back from the graveyard these days. But it gives me the zombie token that I need as fodder for the Rite of Oblivion. 4 Ambitious Farmhands because I do have... I'm at 60 cards, but I only have 24 lands. And I can still get dealt hands where I only get 2 or 3 lands for the first 6 turns, which is upsetting. So hopefully, if I'm not getting the lands, I'll get the farmhand, which will get me to the lands. 1 Disenchant to take care of pesky artifacts or enchantments. 3 Knight of Dawn's Light, first strike, and when we gain life, we gain that much life plus 1 instead, which, you know, this can sometimes make the difference between life and death, just having a little bit of life gain. We have another way to get it, like we just did in the first match, if we can transform the Seasoned Cathar, but we do need to have the Coven, which means we need 3 or more creatures out with different powers, so it takes a little setting up. But in the meantime, we've got Sanctify, destroy another target, artifact or enchantment, and gain 3 life. If we have 3 copies of Knight of Dawn's Life, so if we have any of these type of effects out, then they get magnified a tiny bit. 4 copies of Knight of Dust Shadow, and your opponents can't gain life. And this is fun just because there is still some life gain out there that you gotta watch for, and every now and then, if I put out a Knight of Dust Shadow on turn 2, my opponent will immediately scoop, which means they had a life gain deck, or they're getting stuck on land. 1 copy of Can't Stay Away, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, which means all of these 2-drop creatures are going to come back, and all of these 3-drop creatures are going to come back, which is most of what I got. Plus he has flashback so we can cast it twice. The 2 Rite of Oblivion, so it's single removal, but we can flash it back and do it twice, which is nice. 1 Argiving Cavalier. He has the Enlist capability, so we can tap another non-attacking creature and add its power. That can be a nice kind of chump attacker, so to speak. We could turn him from like a 2/2 to a 3/4 or 5/2, and people feel compelled to block him. Just stop taking that much damage. We have Griff Rider, who has flying and training. 2 Mesa Cavaliers that have flying and we gain 2 life. So we've got a little bit of flying in case we encounter an all-flyer deck. 4 copies of Adeline. She is a knight. Vigilance. And we get all the 1/1 human creature tokens that we want. So then we won't have to worry about Rite of Oblivion, right, if we get one of her down to stay. 2 Desperate Farmers. They start as peasants, but they become knights. And when another creature you control dies, you transform Desperate Farmer. What's cool is the combo here, because if the opponent is watching out for this, we could still get rid of one of Adeline's little 1/1 human tokens with Rite of Oblivion and force the death of another creature and force the transformation. That gives us our 3rd area of lifelink. 2 Paths of Peril in case we get attacked with the swarms, or if the game goes longer and we need to clear the board for everybody, we can. 1 Coalition Sky Knight who has flying and enlist, which is a nice bit of evasion and growth of attack. And also a way, in case we get a lot of creatures and Adeline gets high in power, we don't have to risk attacking with Adeline. We have Griffin Cavalry, which is yet another flyer, so we have 5 flyers so far. He has training as well. Whenever Griffin Cavalry attacks, you can pay 1 and I'm white. If you do, target attacking creature without flying gains flying. Audric's Outrider, whenever Outrider or another creature you control dies, put a counter on target creature you control. And 2 Bloodsworn Squires, and they get indestructible if you discard a card, but you do need to remember you need to keep 2 mana open to power that ability. If there are 4 or more creature cards in your graveyard, you get to transform the Squire into the Vampire Knight that you see to the right. And we are Knight Tribal, so maybe they don't all start out as Knights, but they graduate. The Bloodsworn Knights' power and toughness are equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard, so it's going to be at least a 4/4. By the way, by the threshold there, they have to have 4 creature cards in the graveyard just to transform it. If they get rid of our graveyard, though, then it'll turn into a 0/0. The other 2 board whites by invitation only. Choose a number between 0 and 13. Hopefully, I'll have enough 1/1s with things like Adeline or disposable zombie tokens, or maybe we've got an extra token from the Argivian Cavalier that's still around. Anyway, hopefully we've got more creatures than they do, so that we can sacrifice 3-4 creatures and they lose everything, but we keep our prime creatures. And Vanquish the Horde, it costs 1 less for each creature on the battlefield. So if we get swarmed by a soldier deck or green-white Selesnya, citizens, that kind of thing, we can easily find ourselves outnumbered, but this can pretty quickly get down to where you only need to cast 2 white mana in order to cast the spell. That's pretty much it. 2 Aganjos and 3 Fields of Ruin. Just in case we come up against something like Titania with the meld deck. Gotta be able to get rid of the lands. I have trouble putting 4 Field of Ruins in the deck because they give me so many of those up front all the time that it gives me mana problems having the right color that I need. If I had a mono color deck, maybe I could put 4 in, but 4 is too many for 2 or more colors. That is the deck configuration. It is pretty simple. It's mostly just all the knights I could find, trying to find the right combination. Don't really have a turn 2 play. We'll see if we can get Adeline down for turn 3. They're looking for stuff already. And they got a Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike is not enough against Adeline. So they're going to need to double spell if they want to get rid of it. And they cannot. So, what do we do with that thing? I'll tell you what we do. We attack! We see if they're going to block. They should. And this is a sorcery, not an instant, so they could Lightning Strike this one, though. I don't have enough open mana to protect it. But that kind of gives me a round. I know what they've got. If they spend it... Oh, they don't spend it. Very interesting. Okay. We will attack. We just block it again and they take 6. And now we can discard with the Bloodsworn Squire. We can power it up. Lightning Strike on Adeline. Okay. I'm assuming you have another damage spell. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. We'll take our hits. We take our lumps, and then we use Rotten Reunion. We get rid of the card with flashback so they can't use it again later. Then it's our turn. And 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we just attack, right? Because we're going to blow up the whole board next turn. Oh, that's even better. Do I need a second one? No. One of those is fine for right now. Oh, what did I do? I just put it on the bottom, didn't I? No attacks there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of you. With you. And we're done with that. They use all their mana to bring out yet another creature, which fits with my planned board wipe. And it takes 5 more, which is gonna hurt. As long as they don't have haste, we'll be okay. But they've got a lot of instants in here that I need to get rid of because they probably have Leer, right? And they probably have the sorcery, the red sorcery that lets them create power and toughness creature equal to the instants and sorceries in the graveyard. There's a limit on how much Rotten Reunion can help me with that. I can only cast it one more time. Do we want to keep that? No, let's just get rid of it. Much bigger potential threat to me than my farmhand was going to be to Mastermind up there. And they go digging. They throw away a creature. Alright. Let's get a board presence. It might die, but... No, we can activate it. Do you have an extra damage you can do? An egg. And they go digging. And we're digging. Now, do I pump this up now, or do I save it to protect against damage? I think I just save it to protect against damage, because it's all I've got right now. No artifacts or enchantments, really. Let's go ahead and attack. He's gonna take it. Next. Thin out the deck. That's my last planes. And that's a sorcery, so you know what? I don't think there's an artifact or enchantment we have to worry against in this deck. They could have tapped it and stopped me, I think, from getting that 3 health. That's okay. We're saving Rotten Reunion for the sorcery card that has flashback. Twinferno is a problem. Oh, Inferno is a problem. Seize the Storm. That's the card I was worried about. They get 2 of those. We're going to use Rotten Reunion now and get rid of Seize the Storm so they can't cast it a second time. But they have 2 flyers now. Ouch. That's gotta hurt. Alright, we don't really have much of a choice, right? We can attack with everybody, though. They're gonna take at least 2 points of damage. And really, Twinferno and Twinferno combined with Seize the Storm after they've had a chance to put all of these instants and sorceries in the graveyard, that's their big trick. This is what they use to win all the time. Okay, use Cleave, destroy everybody. And we can put somebody down. As long as they don't have direct damage, we have a chance. Okay, they go digging. Get rid of a land. Place a land. Get a creature. Hey, I think we might have a chance. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't think we have enough total. Farmhand we could use as a chump blocker, maybe? We don't have any planes left actually already. So we will attack with the knight. And activate once. Burn down the house. They're going to use the devils. That, I think, kills me, doesn't it? How's that for a top deck to save your bacon? But even if I pumped it up more, I still would have lost. Even if I'd exhausted myself in the previous one. Alright, let's try again. There's probably, I don't know if I had a way around that or not. I had other places I could have pumped the creature to have increased power and damage, but I didn't. Just because I didn't know what they had in their hand. So the Seize the Storm and Twinferno thing really is a kick in the pants. Can feel good about getting through that, surviving. But burn down the house that late in the game? Yeah, they got me. See, 2 Fields of Ruin out of the 3 already. I really kind of hate it when they do things that quick, that early. Alright, let's go get a planes. And the cool thing is, since we can pump this, we can manipulate the Ambitious Farmhand and get Coven pretty quickly. We're up against the Werewolf deck though, so we do have to survive. We'll go get another planes. And no attacks. The advantage is going to be theirs to start with. They're going to attack and we cannot block. The question is, can we catch up with what we're going to have here? They're looking at him like they want to kill something. I need both of them to transform the farmhands. I need both of them to survive this round. Although we can bring one back. But even their small creatures are going to get... Ah, shoot. Look at all this. 4 creatures already. I mean, I know I have 4 creatures, but mine are 1/1s. I have first strike. That's a mistake. Alright, so we pump this guy. We bring this down, we transform the farmhand, and they quit. They knew they messed up with the first strike, and they didn't want to go anymore. They still had a good chance. Well, depends on what they had in their hand. Alright, hey, look at that. We got a human knight. I'm not running blue, so I can't put it into this particular deck, but I think that's only my second copy of the Sky Knight. So we're getting closer to where I could use that. And I do have, let me take a sidestep out to do the mastery thing, because I got one more mastery. We're getting close to the end on the mastery tree. There we go. Lauren of the Third Path. Only 2 more to go. There we go. Alright, let's go in and we'll just take another quick look at the deck as we leave. And I do my reminder to everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe. I'm just going to show you the creature count and the mana. Average mana cost. Average mana cost is 2.8, so it's a little less than our standard 3. And 26 creatures, so it's a full-on creature deck, which is, I don't usually do those a lot, but, you know, Knights Tribal, when you're dealing with Knights, you're dealing with creatures, you want to have a lot of creatures. So I got a decent amount of creatures, and I think 4 board wipes is really a good mix, along with, since I have flashback on these, that gives me kind of 4 individual removal spots. And I think that's enough interaction with the Disenchant and the Sanctify that if they get down something pesky for enchantments or something, that I'll have a chance against those type of decks. And I've already beat some flyer-only decks, so I think I've got enough responses to flyers as well. It's an overall good all-around deck to go against pretty much all of the pre-mades. It can't get its butt kicked, especially if they don't give me enough land early enough, but that's the same for just about any deck, isn't it? So let me know what changes you might make, what other kinds of things you might put in there besides these particular Knights, or if you think my numerical combinations are off. You know, but overall, although I don't have a lot of 1-drops, it is mostly 2 and 3 drops, so it's not too bad for the most part. And the Vanquish the Horde is misleading, right? Because it's actually, I'm not going to use that unless it gets all really cheaper really fast. And overall, I only have 5 creatures that are 4 drops. And that's good. I don't have like one really big impressive monster. I usually want to put in at least one something big. But in this case, I geared it more towards keeping it tight, keeping them with things that work together, so I get a little bit of life gain out of things. And I think the Bloodsworn Squire, if I can keep her around, she's got the potential, as we lose the rest of the creatures, if the game drags on, to be this possible big indestructible creature in and of herself. So that's kind of my cheat out of having something really big that might eat a hole in my hand for the first 5 or 6 turns that I couldn't cast. So that's my spiel. Thanks for joining me, and we'll catch you next time with a different deck. Have a good one.